Okay, so welcome back guys and welcome to the final episode of this SQFLite tutorial. As you can see, we've added some features to our application and we can now search through our contacts regarding the category they're in. So if we choose like friend, it gives us our friends, and if we choose neighbor, it gives us neighbors, and if we choose coworker, it will show us our coworkers. So yeah, we will learn about foreign keys and some other stuff. So if you are interested, stay tuned and let's just jump to it. Okay, so let's just see where we left off since the previous episode. As you can see, we got some add contacts page and also search page where we can search for other contacts that we insert. So now what we will do, we will create another object called categories, and we will be able to connect these characters or contexts to their categories. So let's just jump to it and we'll start with our database file, and inside of here in our onCreate method where we create our contact table, we will also need to create the category table. So let's just copy this table because the method is practically the same. We are just going to change contact to category, and also all the columns here from contact ID and contact name to category ID and category name. So now we have just another table called category with ID and name. And now we have to connect these two tables because they are not going to do it by themselves. And for that we need foreign keys. And first thing, we need to create our foreign key, and we are just going to name it like FK, which stands for foreign key, and our table name. So what is it? So contact and category, just like this. And now we have to, okay, yeah, I forgot to specify the type. So string and not null. And now we have to tell this table to connect this foreign key to this category ID primary key in our category table. So we do this with this SQL query, like not exactly query, but column name, I guess we could call it that. So let's say foreign key, and we are going to specify which ones. So this foreign key references, so it is going to reference our category table, and inside our category table we have to specify which column exactly this foreign key references. So just like this. So this is everything that we need to do. So this is basically it. Okay, I have like this typo category ID, should be more careful, but yeah. So we have two tables, and this contact table has a foreign key, and this foreign key is basically references this category ID in our category table. And yeah, that's it for our database. And now we have to create also the operations that we will be doing to our categories. So just like we did for our contacts, we have to create our category operations, and this will practically be the same. So I'm just going to copy, and if you don't know what we are doing here, I suggest that you take a look at our previous episode and yeah, learn, because I've literally explained it there. So for our category operations, we are just going to have these two methods. So create a category and get all categories. So let's just refactor this. We are going to rename every contact to category, replace all contact to category, replace all. So we also need to create a model for our category, and it will be almost the same as our contact model. So category.dart, new file, and we are just going to copy this. And again, if you don't know what we did here, I suggest that you take a look at the previous episode. And here we are going to refactor our contact model to category, replace all, and we don't need surname, we just need name, and this and this. So we must be very cautious here because these column names must match this very this is must match this fromMap and toMap methods. So when we use this fromMap or toMap methods, if these column names aren't going to be the same as we specified here, then we will get an error. So it's our category ID, this is our ID column, so we have to change it. So instead of contact ID we have category ID, and instead of contact name we have our category name. So category name and category name. So yeah, that's it. We have our category with ID and name and fromMap and toMap method, and that's basically what we need. We also have our category operations where we just a second users. Okay, so we insert in our category table, and yeah, we must be careful. So if you are copy pasting stuff, just try to make sure to do it correctly, because it's easy to make some random mistakes. So like this, as you can see, this is not correct names. So map string to query category, list of categories, all right. So yeah, this is it. This should work, but we'll see if it actually does. So for that we also need to create a new page. Let's call it add category page.dart, and it will be almost the same as at contact page. So just don't want to waste any time with this boilerplate code, so we don't need these things, but we don't need this. We're just going to rename this category, just replace all, add category page, import our category operations, and we don't need two of these text fields, and we are creating new category, import the model. So what's wrong here? Okay, so text. So this was pretty fast, but if you're familiar with Dart, it wasn't nothing too hard. As you can see, we just changed the name of this page, and also instead of name controller we just rename it to category controller. So we use it here, and instead of creating here a new contact we just create new category. See, and we are not doing anything yet, but we contact, oh my god. Okay, so let's just get quickly overview. So we are creating new instance of our category operations here because we are going to need this create category method. So, and we just get a category control. We just needed to get our text for category name. As you can see, we specified the name of the category. So this thing right here, name, we specified here. We just take text from our category controller, and then we create category. We just call our category operations objects, and we just pass in our category that we just created, and it probably should work, but we'll see. And yeah, we also need to create navigation to this page. We're just going to create new floating action button here in our main screen. We'll just call it add category button, and just need to specify the root add category page. Just copy so we don't write entire thing. So add category page. We need to import this. So yeah, let's see if this works. Okay, as you can, okay, we need to change the icon. Where is it? I had it prepared, but what's it called? I just, yeah, playlist. Sorry, I like nice icons, so you're going to have to wait. Let's see if this already compiles. Yeah, okay, so let's try to, okay, we have to change the text field hint, or I mean label, not hint. Let's see. That's not supposed to happen. Why? Well, we also forgot to create a button, so just going to create simple floating. Wait, what? No, we did not. What's happening? It was supposed to be here. I'm very confused right now. Okay, I think we messed up here. No, it's at category page. Okay, I'm sorry. I know what's wrong. This was wrong. So okay, so we just need to create new category. Let's just create category called friend. So the contact will be our friend, and yeah, of course it doesn't work because we obviously forgot something. And well, okay guys, so there were two problems. The first one, we had this column here and it is not correct because this throws the syntax error. So be very careful when creating these queries, SQL queries, because you can create an error like syntax error so easy that you just have to be very accurate and like specific. But okay, and also I've renamed the database, so I just created a new database, so the application works now. We can add new categories. So let's just, if we just create test and it does not throw an error, so it means that it works now, but we still have to display these categories in UI. But yes, so we just have the new complete new database with 2 tables, and let's just now focus on our categories. And here in our create contact page, we will be able to select the category for each contact that we create, and for that we will use a simple drop down because I think it looks nice and it's very UI. It's like very easy for user to just select it and then create the context. So let's do this now, and for that we will need a new widget. So let's create a new widget called categories dropdown.dart. And yeah, I'll have a simple boilerplate code prepared, so I'll just copy in so we don't waste any more time. Okay, so this is it. It's nothing special, just a widget, stateful widget, I mean stateless stateful widget. And as you can see, this widget takes in the list of categories and a callback function. So what callback function is we pass this function as an argument to this stateful widget, and we can then simply let's say when we add a new context and we okay, that was not supposed to be here because I've prepared. So we will pass here our function. So let's just create a callback function, and which will take in the category, or let's just say call it selected category. And in this category, I mean in this function, we will set state because we will need to refresh the page. And here we will, in our add contact page, we will create a new category. Let's call it category and selected category also. Let's just, but the visibility, we will set the visibility to private. And here, this function will take in a category, and it will set this specific category that we will later need to create a new contact. Here we will create a new contact with category, but we will need this specific category. But when we will create in our drop-down button, we will pass in this callback function, and with this function we will set this category to the selected one in Dropbox. So if you don't understand this, just wait a second and you will see on the way. It's nothing complicated, but yeah, let's just go create this drop-down. So we have to return something, and we will return drop-down button. So drop-down button, and it will consist of category. So the items inside will be of type of category. Just okay, and we will need to parse this to no, not yet. Now we have this drop-down button, and we need to create a hint. Let's just say select, oh no, it has to be this, like this text, select category. And what else do we need? We need onChanged method. So onChanged, when we change our dropdown, our category, let's just call it value, our category in dropdown is going to be set, just call set state method as method, and we will call the function. So widget.callback, and we will pass in this value. So we call this function here, and we pass from our contact page here, we pass in the function. So let's create here this, let's call this drop down button. So what's it called? Categories dropdown. Add it to add contact page. Of course, we need to import it. And we pass in, first we have to pass our data, our categories, which we will get by wrapping this up in our future builder. So we will, okay, this will not work like this. Let's create a new feature builder first. So because we will need this feature builder to actually get the categories that we need. So it will be a list of type category, and the future okay, I'm messing up something. Okay, I don't need this here. I'm sorry, but so we need to give it a future, which is going to be our category operations. So and we will use our category operations to call get all categories. And now we have, when we'll have our categories, let's just create the actual builder. I mean the builder methods, and we take in the context and snapshot. So the data, let's just call it snapshot. And now we have to actually curly brackets and create this method. So let's have this variable data and call it snapshot dot data. So, actually just skip this step and pass in directly. So return if snapshot has data, what typo here. So if snapshot has data, we will return our categories dropdown. So we will pass in this snapshot data and our callback function, or else we will return text saying no categories. Okay, so this will probably throw an error now, or just create an empty. Yeah, so we have to actually create our categories dropdown. So we have our dropdown button, and now and our onChange set state method, we have to now define items. So items, and okay, so we will change this E letter to category, so it looks nicer and cleaner. So now we will create a method body, so curly brackets, and inside we will return okay, don't need this function, arrow function here. So we will return drop down menu item. So for each category in our categories list, we will return drop down menu items for, so this will happen for every category in our list, and the value of this item will be category, and the child is gonna be just a simple text. So, and inside the actual text will be category.name, and I think we need to parse everything to a list. Yeah, so let's see if this works now. Why it was wrong? We don't need this. Okay, so let's see if this works. And yeah, we can see our categories. So previously I've created some random, so yeah, I know this looks ugly, but let's just create our John and give it, oh yeah, we have to yeah, we forgot to change the contact. So every contact also has a category, so we have to change this, just a second, guys. So it needs another, how to say, it's another column, I mean another field called category. So we just call it category, and it will actually be an integer because it will reference our category, our ID. So let's just create it in constructors. So this dot category and from map and to map. So this dot name equals object, and now carefully we have to find the column that corresponds to our name. So this one, contact category. So I believe it was supposed to be an integer. Yeah, this here is supposed to be an integer. So yeah, of course we will have to rerun our database again, but it's better to find this error now than later. So yeah, we are going to need the from map, and here also this will be corresponding to category integers. So here in our, where is it, add contact, where are you? So here, see, we are creating a contact and we are not initializing the category value. So category is going to be selected category and dot ID. So yeah, we will pass in the ID for our category, and again this selected category is basically initialized in this callback function. In this function we pass it here into our categories dropdown. So if we go back to our categories dropdown, you can see that this callback function is an attribute for this class, and we are calling it here in our setState method. In our setState method, we give the value, which is the selected category, to this function. So, and this function now takes it back to our where is it at contact page, and it initializes this one. So we will again have to change our database because we um, changed the field from string to integer, and just now rerun this, rebuild, and hope that it works. Okay guys, so it's pretty hard to talk and explain code and also be good at writing it, and yeah, I was not cautious and I forgot to change this, so I left it like this, so that's obviously not good. But yeah, just I'm sorry and try not to repeat those mistakes. And so let's just create a new context, so call it John and John Doe, and select the category like a friend. And now we can see John Doe is inserted. We can also see the category ID, so where is it? Contact list, and for each contact we can display, so we can display the ID. So yeah, you could, of course, you could make this nicer and not this one. Dot categories, so the ID of a category, and you could also make this nicer and actually display this category here, but we are just doing some minimalistic development, so you can then play around with it, try different things. So we'll just create someone like Jake Peralta and give it a category of coworker, and we have now Jake Peralta, which has the second category. So now it will be really useful if we could search, like we could define this category and our application would automatically search through the contexts that belong to this category. So that's why we will create another floating action button and another page, and we'll be able to categorize our context by the categories. So let's now do that. So we will create another this floating action button, so like this, and it will take us to the new page that we will create. Just the list, and so yeah, let's create a new page, call it, what do we want to call it? So search contacts Oh, we are not search context by category .dart, and we will just copy the boilerplate code. So just copy this page and or just no, let me write this for like it should be. Okay, so we are going to okay now, so let us copy some boilerplate code like it's we are going to just this and just add contact, or no, this is too much. Let's just okay, so I will just copy like another page, so we don't have to write the boilerplate code by ourselves again. So just add contact page, so we can okay, so we will add it. So search contexts by category and replace all, and we don't need this. We will need contact operations. We don't need this, and we will just delete this. Let's just delete everything, and we have the our just the page. So why did we delete the oh, I know. Let's okay, so let's now delete everything in our column just like this. Let's delete floating action button, and now we have our page. Search context by category, and where is it in our yeah, let's now define the root. So search context by category, import it and give it a route. So some search context by category, and let's pass in this back to our horizontal button bar. So yeah, this should take us to our new page. Okay, so the good thing now that we have to implement this, so we can just reuse some components like this. We can select category here, like we can use this drop down and implement it here. So it's basically just the same concept. We don't need to reinvent the wheel here. We can just use it like here in our add contact page. We just import this widget. Where is it? Categories drop down, and yeah, we also have to pass it inside of a feature builder, and yeah, we also we don't need callback method per se, but yeah, it's just yeah, so we just reuse this component. Like, let's pass it into our, where is it, search context by category page, and just pass it in. I mean, so just copy this line here and paste it in. And we also didn't define our category operations, yeah, because we need it. So and we also need to use this callback function, like here, and just paste it in here, and also selected category. Okay, so we should have a drop down button here, like this. Okay, we can now select category, and now we will also reuse this list because I don't want to create a new one, so it would look a little bit different. This will work for to just explain the basic concepts. So I just go to our context page, and yeah, this is actually everything we need. We just need to write another method which is going to take in the category, but let's just copy this and okay, import this, and this now compiles, but it's not what we want. It just returns all contexts, like it was supposed to. Yeah, it returns all the contexts which we don't want, because we just want to return the context corresponding to our categories. So this method does not work for us. So now what we have to do is we have to go back to our contact operations, and we have to write a new method. So it is going to be similar as this one, get all contexts, but it will be a little bit different. So let's just copy this, get all contexts, and change it by category. So because you'll be passing category, and we will also need the category object which will be passed in. So we are going to now query this, and we have to write a query here. This is not going to work. I'm just going to all rows. Yeah, I'm going to delete this. Okay, I'm sorry, I was a little bit lost. So we have to write new queries. So let's just await db.raw query, and we will be just writing raw SQL. So for the SQL, I suggest that you use these multi-column strings because it's easier. But okay, so like this, and let's just now write it. So we are going to select everything from our contact table, and we are going to use inner join our category on our contact dot category ID equals our category ID. So basically what this means, so I can contact, just select category on contact. Okay, so we are going to select everything from our contact table. We are going to join table category on our contact dot category ID. So we are going to join the contact table with category, and where this join will be um, executed so that our contact category ID corresponds to our category ID of the category table. So this ID here that corresponds to this foreign key. So we have foreign contact category. Now, where is it? Contact. Okay, I'm just on contact dot category ID category dot okay, so this is now okay, so we are now selecting everything from our contact table and we are joining it with our category table. So we are joining category and contact table, and we are doing that based on our foreign key. So we are using the contact foreign key where it equals to category dot category ID. So these two we are joining based on these two foreign keys and foreign key and our ID key. So this is where these tables almost like connect, or yeah, they are, because they're these contact references, these category tables. So let's now call this method so contact operations. So go contacts by category, and we are now going to pass in selected category. And wait a second, we also need to pass in our okay, so we need to write this SQL query now. So let's where our contact dot no our foreign key. Just a sec. So our, where is it? Our contact foreign key contact category equals to our category dot id. Oh, I'm sorry. Category dot id. So now let's see if this works, or do we have some syntax error. Yeah, passed in the selected category, and if this works, yeah, it works. So yeah, if we, as you can see, it corresponds to the category. So let's create another category, and I just call it, I don't know, like we have family, coworker. No, I don't think we have family. Let's just create a neighbor, and let's now create a neighbor. Just a neighbor. Yeah, we have to select category, and let's create another neighbor. Okay. And we have two neighbors, and now we can select the neighbor, and it throws the neighbors at us. So okay guys, so this is it for this episode, and this is the last episode of SQFLite tutorial. So by now you know how to create SQFLite, so just table, and you know basic CRUD operations, you know about foreign keys, you know about just like the basics and how to interact with them. And yeah, I think this is like very solid foundation. And yeah, keep in mind that this application is not very quality made, or is it not nearly production ready or something like that. Just forget about this. And we are missing some form validation and some UI mistakes, and just overall it's not like the most beautiful or safe application. And yeah, but it does proves a point, so you can, it serves so you can like play around with SQFLite and to learn about basics. So keep that in mind. And yeah, that's it. I hope that you learned something, that you enjoyed it. So see you next time.